Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this special edition. This is just a bit of a laid back, casual kind of chat. If you've got questions, feel free to go ahead and put a Q or the word question in front of your comment if you're here live. If you're watching on the replay, don't worry, we still love you. Jump down into the comments section below and leave your questions because I'm in there 24/7. Okay, not quite, but I'm in there a lot and I'm there to answer your questions or do what I usually do, which is just handball you over to another video or to Jade Star's channel or to Creative Source if it's cakewalk related. I'm the ultimate delegator because I know what I knows, but I knows what I don't knows as well. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here and a huge shout out to my Patreon crew, the patrons over at studiolivetoday.com/Patreon. If you would like to become one of them, feel free to go and check it out. We love our patrons and we also love the fact that we are less than 2 weeks from Songtember. Yes, Songtember 2023 is just around the corner. And if you head on over there to studiolivetoday.com/Songtember, you can set yourself a reminder for the live launch video. You can check out last year's playlist, so see what we got up to and what it's all about. Join all of the different platforms and places where you can stay in touch with all things Songtember. And if you're wondering what it's all about, ask the usual suspects. Ask the Thomas Christ and the Jade Stars of the world or anyone who's around here. They're all on there as well. Check them out, the Friends of Songtember, because what we do is we all create, record and release a whole song and we do it in the month of September. We call it Songtember. We've been doing it for 4 years. This is year number 5, if you can believe it. So get involved, join in. If you've created a bunch of music before, it's a good opportunity to create more. If you haven't yet, then get stuck in. What's stopping you? Well, it might just be that little kick in the butt you need, that little bit of what I call positive pressure, positive time pressure to say you got 30 days. You got to get it done at the end. You got to tie a little ribbon around it and put it out there to the world. That can be the toughest thing to do. So join us, be one of us. I'm not usually like the cult leader type that says, join us, be one of us. But for something like this, I think it's important. Get involved. Let's say good day to the fine folks who are here live on the chat. And then we'll dive in. I don't have a lot of specific stuff on the schedule here today. I did call this behind the scenes because about once a year, I'd like to just sort of show my current setup. It's much for me to look back in the past and go, what was I using and what am I using now? But I do get a lot of questions from folks saying, how do I do live streams like you do them? And while I don't recommend you do things exactly the way I do them, you might get some tips and tricks and ideas and maybe you go, I like what John does with that. I don't like how he does it with that. So we'll get into a little bit of that as we go through. Facebook says, reminder, be ready to start a live video. I'm like, yeah, I know Facebook. I've accidentally turned on some notifications. I'm not liking it. G'day to Jade Star. Hello to Thomas Christ. Hello to Mark Bro, Marky Mark, and the Funky Bunch are here. G'day Andrea Ross Green. I hope you're well. The Semtex Cow Moo. And dude, it's Jamie Malander. I hope you're doing well. Jamie over there in the UK. Princess LDG. Thank you for dropping on by. We have a Tremor Bear. So many ads on YouTube. Give me more feedback. Let me know about the ads on YouTube if you don't mind, especially on the live streams, because I must admit, I have YouTube Premium, which means I've lost a bit of connection with how these things work. And sometimes I have the monetization off for a live stream. Sometimes I turn it on. I wonder what that does, because it doesn't let you predetermine how many ads are actually put out there to the world. So I really hope I don't put mid-roll ads on for live streams, but if YouTube do it without kind of me knowing, please let me know. If you're going away to ads, then do let me know. Moo indeed. There you go. We have the cow in the house. What's up to Future Phoenix as well? Thank you for being here. Just scrolling down. Howdy to you too. Things are better now. Did we lose some sound? I was having a few internet issues just before the start of the show. So do let me know how we go. I'm trying a few things. It's experiment. August is the month of experimentation for a lot of YouTube channels, a lot of podcasts, a lot of people in these spaces. Because let's be honest, when it comes to news, it's like the dead. It's like school's back in the Northern Hemisphere. It's the end of summer, and it's kind of like a big vacant abyss of news and information and new stuff. Jamie says, I'm the same. I have premium for the family. We didn't get We don't get the ads now, so I don't know what my viewers see. In fact, we do this. We do it with the patrons from time to time. So maybe we'll do that. I'll add it to my little list here of things to talk about. But we'll do some ad check-ins, because what you can do, and Jamie, you can do this as well. Go into a private browser. Don't log into YouTube. Play your own videos, and then see what they actually play. It can be fun. So I'm gonna add that to my notes here. We're gonna do some ad reviews, because yeah, things have changed a bit. I'll talk about this. You get 2 ads. Yeah, I've heard people saying that there's like 2, like there's a skippable and a non-skippable ad. And look, I've got to be honest. I will be honest with you that some of the money that I make from my YouTube channel is from YouTube ads. If you've got YouTube Premium, a chunk of that goes towards paying the bills around here. But I would, look, it's gone down a lot recently, but I would guess that somewhere around 30 to 40% of Studio Live Today's income comes from ads that you see on YouTube. So they are a necessity, but at the same time, if they cross over to becoming an annoyance and something that's going to stop people from watching, guess what? If people get so annoyed by ads that they watch 0, you know what that 5% of 0 is? It's big fat 0. That's what it is. So yeah, we'll go in and do that. 18 seconds. So are you still on the ad? So you're seeing an ad right now. I'll jump into the back end and see how I've set this up, because this is what these sort of shows are all about. Do I even have monetization on? And what has it got it set as? Monetization is on. Now, it doesn't give you the opportunity. So it's got skippable ads and non-skippable video ads. I can't turn off display ads. I can set timed video ads during your live stream. And that's a new option. So maybe the fact that I haven't set timed ads during the live stream means that they're just inserting ads whenever they choose. Let me know as we go through. I need to know this stuff. It's important, because I want to make the experience the best it possibly can be. Thomas says I was often getting 2 15-second unskippable ads before shows. Yeah, that's less than ideal. Less than ideal. Yeah, and look, that's it. Grab a trick. I know. Look, it's true. But yeah, it's got to be relevant as well. I hope that the ads that you're seeing are relevant. Usually it's for something like Masterclass or some music gear or something like that. Just be thankful that I'm not a cryptocurrency channel. Otherwise, it would be a bunch of crypto bros in front of their Lambos going, "Want to be rich like me?" Yeah, you don't want that. Hello, Leslie Ann M Justice. I'm on Premium YouTube and I have no ads. Yeah, look, I'm not going to tell you what to do and how to spend your money, but if you're not on Premium YouTube and you want to know why I choose it and why I recommend it, you get YouTube Music as well. So you pay, it's around about, I think, $11.99. I pay $17.99. That's a family plan. That's for everyone in my house. So you pay about somewhere between $10 and $20 a month, depending where you are and how many people. But you get YouTube Music, which basically has everything that Spotify or Apple Music has as well. And you get YouTube Premium, which means no ads ever on any YouTube content. So for folks that are paying right now for either Apple Music or Spotify, it's worth investigating, because if you watch a lot of YouTube and you also listen to music, unless like, the negative here is, as my daughter says, she wants to be on Spotify because her friends are on Spotify, the playlists are on Spotify, and the people, you can have those interactions. So that's why a lot of people use Spotify. But I reckon that if you don't care about stuff like that, then YouTube Premium is a pretty good option. All streaming services have upped the length of ads, including Twitch. It's just a fact of life. And unfortunately, it does have an impact. So for those that are my patrons, you already know this stuff because I rant about this when we do our monthly catch-ups. I talk about this, but for folks who aren't patrons, we go through like a bit of a review every month. So we look at things like the number of views I got on the channel, the number of watch time hours, because they're both sort of important things, subscribers, and then what that results in actual revenue. And what we've seen is that from basically the 1st of January 2023, there was a big change in the pricing of ads, and a lot of companies started buying less ads. So in the US, if you weren't aware, they do their years, quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, from January through to March, then April through to June. You get the idea. So for that first quarter and the second quarter, they were buying a lot less ads. And because the way that the ad system works on YouTube, it's like an auction. So they'll come in and they'll say, so Masterclass might come in and say, we want creators like John's, like Studio Live today, and we're going to pay Google, YouTube, $2 per impression, $2 per click. That's pretty good, yeah. I mean, I get about 30% of that, so that's not exactly going to break the bank. But what's happened more recently is that they've reduced that, because if Masterclass come in and say, actually, no, we're only going to pay $1 and we're only going to buy half as many ads, it doesn't matter how many views I get. I can be getting the same amount of views on the channel, and I am. The views on the channel haven't changed, but the revenue's gone down. So what they're starting to do now, because that revenue for me is going down, that revenue for YouTube's going down. Twitch, the same. Twitter/X, the same. Instagram, the same. So because there's less overall ads, there's less money in the system, there's less advertisers buying less ads online, it means that they're increasing the number, they're increasing the volume. It's that whole sort of supply and demand. The demand is less, so they're pushing more out there. So instead of you watching that one ad that might have been paid $2 for by Masterclass, you're now watching 2 ads for HelloFresh and what's another one? Dollar Shave Club, because they're the only companies that are out there actually advertising on YouTube channel. It's it's a hard thing to come to terms with. I've grabbed your question, Al Davis Music, by the way. I've tagged that one, and I'm going to scroll down and see if we have any other questions, because I'm right on my rant there. I can see, yeah, I should do that. I should time it. So I just do, I control the ad and I say at the 20-minute mark, we'll be right back after these messages from our important sponsors. And then it's be like, man, are you losing all your hair? Try new men's hair, everything, and you get all hairy and that. Okay, we're back. Yeah, it's a bit hard when you don't know what the ads are actually for. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Jade has ads, but like I said, for this community, I'll watch ads. You got to make a living. Yeah, there you go. Thomas says, I get confused on how ad-supported streamers make money from YouTube Premium, but I assume it works out for YouTube and creators. Yeah, so the way it works is it's a chunk of, so if you look on your, again, for those in the Patreon, it's like a big ad for patrons here, but we've been through it before, where you look at the percentage of YouTube Premium, and for me, it's basically just a lump sum, because it says the way it works is if you're paying for YouTube Premium, you're paying $12 a month, it partitions all of that out to everything that you listen to. So if you listen to a bunch of music, then you watch a bunch of live streams, and then you watch a bunch of other videos, it basically grabs that pool and it chops it up, and it just gives little bits out based on the proportion of watch time you have. It's kind of complicated. A little bit. Yes, go the Gorillas. Gorillas, awesome. Damon is a legend. You can also upload your albums. Yes, so I've got, because a lot of things, so I love The 12th Man, which won't mean much to anyone but maybe Jay Star. I love The 12th Man, who's like a comedy producer, makes like cricket-based comedy. It's weird, but none of their albums are on YouTube Music. And Tool, a lot of their sort of earlier stuff, Tool were really late to get onto streaming. So you can actually upload stuff that's not on there and then use that in the cloud. I actually did it for my children. There's this lullaby song that they still like to listen to at night. They used to listen to it all the time when they were little kiddies. And I've just put that song, because it wasn't available anywhere, on my own private personal YouTube thing. Then they can go in and do their thing. Jamie says, I went for it because it meant I could cancel my Spotify, cancel Donna's Amazon Music, Layla's Spotify. Yeah, and that's the thing. No ads, one-stop shop. The whole family gets again, this is not an ad for YouTube Premium. You do you, boo, but it's definitely a good idea. YouTube's increased from $11.99 to $13.99. Okay, there you go. I've probably missed that. Actually, no, I think I saw something like that. I think I might be paying something like $21.99 for my family plan now. It could be something like that. Yeah, there you go. I haven't listened to the new Gorillaz album. I've got to get onto it. I need to listen to the new Gorillaz stuff. I'm such an old music guy. I couldn't take listening to the boring ads in between videos. Well, let's listen to some ads in the show here today. Lotto Cat. Remember Lotto Cat? Lotto Cat was on SoundCloud, wasn't it? Was that one of the SoundCloud ads where it's like, buy lottery tickets, and it's like this cat? It's strange. There you go. You can do that. God is coming. No questions. Just wanted to say thank you for everything. I'm on GarageBand iPad producer, and we changed my... Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, if you do have any questions, feel free to throw them at me. I make an average of £3.50 a month at the moment. I've been eyeing up this gold Porsche. There you go. Yeah, it's very glamorous. I actually do love, yeah, high praise coming from God. I do love that I am a YouTuber. I am a content creator because a lot of my friends, their kids really want to be YouTubers. And they're like, oh, talk to old man Pete about that. And I'm just like, kids, don't do it. You spend like what you see, the glamorous stuff of being, creating even short form content. A 60-second short form TikTok for a good creator is going to take them hour, 2 hours just to do the shooting, the editing, the posting, the tags, the hashtags, the promoting, the sharing, the follow up, the comment responding. Not to mention having a good idea that's actually going to resonate with people to start with. So, yeah, I say, look, it's not just point camera at self, press button, do funny dance, get 1 million subscribers. I mean, maybe that happens for some folks, but not in my experience, not in my world. G'day, Danny. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Yes, it was the old SoundCloud with the laughing. No, was it Lotto Cat? Santa Claus is coming to town. Yes, true. Al Davis has a question here. Have you any tips for replicating Phil Collins style gated drums in GarageBand iOS? Oh, the old gated reverb or gated drum. I haven't, but you know what? This is the Pete searches on YouTube for answers to questions. I did say that at the start that I would throw it out there. I've never really made a lot of 80s type. Maybe we need to do like an 80s style 80s style song, because that seems to be pretty popular these days, like a funky, fusiony, old school retro wave. I don't know, I'm making up genres now, but maybe we need to do that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to type Phil Collins gated drums, and I'm just going to see who pops up, because there's probably some channels that I dig. Actually, I did watch. Interestingly, I did watch this one from Vox, which is not going to help you do it, but this was a really interesting video, how a recording studio mishap shaped 80s music. So it was actually kind of a mistake when they first started doing the gated drum sounds. But who do we have here? So Jake Reed's got a video there. I Am Music Mogul has one. They do some good content as well from what I've seen in the past. There's a drumming, Art of Drumming, Genesis, Phil Collins Legendary, recreating iconic drum sounds. It sounds like it would be a good idea for a video. I've never actually sat down and used GarageBand because there are plugins, and I don't know, Jade, if you've reviewed one that actually will just create that gated sound for you. Reverb, was it Reverb that did a video as well? I remember watching a video. I thought it was Vox, but yeah, there's a heap on how to do it, but it could be a fun video to do. Yeah, you could do a recreating the classic drum sounds in GarageBand. I'm not the greatest drum producer. That's why I asked Jade Starr to do all my drums. So I've never really played around with it. Could also use a transient designer after reverb. Yeah, so there are actually there you go. Jamie Mallender did a gated reverb vid for Logic Pro for iPad. Well, you could use a similar. So I guess Logic Pro has probably presets that would allow you to do this. I've not played with it. Let's find this one. Jamie Mallender gated reverb. This will be a big test to make sure Jamie's tagging his videos correctly. Let's go. Oh, it's a short as well. That's even better. So there you go, Jamie over here. There you go. How to make an 80s gated snare reverb in Logic Pro for iPad with Mixbox. There you go. Well, Mixbox is available on. You've got another one. So it's a. Oh, you did two. So you did a long form and a short form. Oh no, you've done a vertical and a horizontal version of the video. So that's really cool. Yeah, I hate this that YouTube also have removed the ability to have an album, like a cover, album artwork. Now, what do we call it? Thumbnail for your short videos. So your short videos are just a shot. The thumbnail is just a shot from the video. But there you go. Do what I did. Search Jamie Mallender gated reverb, and I'll be watching these as well. Looks good. Looks like a good option. And that's a good way to go, Jamie. I don't know if that's, obviously it's a deliberate tactic, but having the short form and then the one with the nice thumbnail that's the regular way is a good way to go. I like it. Two birds with one stone. All right. So yeah, go and check that out. There you go. Living the dream. Yeah, I'm always living the dream. Hello, Gregory O'Sullivan. Thank you for being here. Hugh Padgham, is that someone else that's done videos, or is that a drummer? I don't know my drummers very well. Yeah, you could use side chaining. So, and you can use sidechain. What's that? The 4Pockets app that has a side chaining built into it for GarageBand. You could definitely do it with that. Let's just say Pete John's 4Pockets. I forgot the name of the app. It's a really cool. It was Audioscope. It came out just before Logic Pro for iPad, and I felt really bad for Paul because I'm like, you've basically just made GarageBand amazing, but at the same time, Logic Pro's come out. So this one here, Audioscope, that actually has the ability to sidechain, and I'm pretty sure if I go Pete John's sidechain GarageBand. That you'll find. Yeah, there it is. I did a video just about side chaining. So that's another one that might help you do that sort of stuff. Yeah, but good question. Sorry, my answer was not here's exactly how to do it, but here's a bunch of other people that are showing you how to do it. So some options for you out there, and from our very own Jamie Mallinger as well, which is always cool to see. Mark, I've grabbed your question. Talkback mic left live over the kit. What's that from a drummer? Yeah. There you go. Thank you for linking to Jamie's vid there, Jade. Appreciate you. Hello, Seamus. Haven't seen you for a very long time. Appreciate you being here. Still haven't forked. We'll talk about BandLab in a moment because I've put another of my tracks up on BandLab with the full unaffected stems. So if you want to go and play with some more stuff, I'll add that to my list as we get reminded. We'll do the ad review and we'll do the BandLab. We haven't even got to the behind the scenes, but that's what we do with these sort of shows. We make it a bit casual. I like it. Couldn't you use any reverb like the Nembrini noise gate on your drum to get that effect? You pretty much could, couldn't you? You could just use the free Nembrini noise gate, add like a 100% reverb track, and basically just create a reverb track separate to the original drum track. Yeah, there's a bunch of ways to do it, but I've just never tried, to be honest. So yeah, maybe it's something I need to dive into. I'll get onto it, but if I'll watch that Jamie video first, if he's got it covered. It's a bit like the stuff I do with, whenever I see Jade covering something, I'm like, I feel bad for the developers because I'm like, well, I don't need to cover that now because Jade's got it completely covered. The In the Air sound was by luck. Yeah, Hugh left Phil's talkback mic on during a take and magic was made. Yeah, so I think that was the video that I was talking about, that Vox video, where it's like they accidentally did it and then they just created that gated reverb. Awesome. It was good stuff. Off to find more cat videos. Or cow videos. I don't know. My favorite reverb for iOS is Altezza. I think that's the name. Yeah, that's from FAC, isn't it? FAC Altezza. Have I covered that again? Jade would have. Altezza. It's been around for a while. I've probably covered it back in the world. I have, because of course I have. There you go. Yeah, FAC, which is Fred Anton Corvest, who is a very good independent plugin developer maker. So yeah, a good person to support. He's always supported creators, and he's a good one to support if you need to. We did have another question here from Mark Bro, who says, is there a musical skill you don't have but wish you did? I know I wish I could solo like Hetriani, but when I shred, it involves cheese. Yes. It's a good question. What would I do if I... Alarm's going off. What musical skill would I have? I've always wanted to be able to play strings. So I would love to be able to play violin or maybe cello. I think being able to play a good cello, because I like that sound of those low down strings. And I did play. I like to say I was awarded the prize for the best viola player at the Burnside Primary School for the years that I was attending there. And I sometimes even include the fact that I was the only viola player in the whole school. That was in like primary school, so year 6, year 7, we're talking here. So I did play viola. Yeah, one of these days, if it wasn't for the size of it, I would love to like buy and learn how to play a cello, because I just think that there's something about, playing a stringed instrument. Dan Baker, the reason Dan Baker's my hero is that he can play anything, and he's got the mad skills and chops for playing violin, cello, bass, double bass, basically anything. But yeah, it's a good question. What would you, how about you, Mark? And how about folks that are watching here live, or if you're watching on the replay, let me know. It's a great question. What is the musical skill you don't have but you wish you did. Yeah, because and probably drums. Drums would be number two. I tried drums, and it's I don't have that level of timing. It's not a natural thing for me to do. There you go. It only needs a very basic. The gate settings are the key. The free audio kit verb would be ideal. There you go. So you got a bunch of options there to get your gated reverb sound. Black Hole also pretty rad. It's rad. We're bringing it back, and Altezza is now Mac also, which is cool. There you go. Pretty much the two Desert Island reverbs, Altezza and Black Hole. Daddy Gable would like perfect sight reading and writing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind to be able to sight read and write. That would definitely be handy to be able to just grab a piece of music and play it and be able to read the music and play it properly. I must admit, when I go to learn a song, I load it up on Ultimate Guitar, and I don't know if it's like, it goes in this order. It's like chords, tab, music score. So very rarely do I bother. If I have to try and actually learn using the music or even the tab, I kind of give it a miss. If I've got the chords there, I just sort of make something up that sounds somewhere in the ballpark of it, and we go with it. Yeah. Trevor Bear uses Altezza on the Mac all the time. Very cool. Those universal apps sadly seem to not work in FL. Oh no. Can use them in Logic though. That's good. Trevor Bear said, I'd love to be able to solo more fluidly and fast on guitar. Yeah, I must admit, I watched the Tom Morello masterclass. Speaking of masterclass and people whose ads you might see on the channel here, I watched the Tom Morello masterclass a couple of years ago, and he talked about how he plays and the importance of knowing scales and practicing to get those fast fingers. And I did think at the time, if I had, desert island stuff, if I had a year to sit on a desert island with just a guitar and didn't have to do anything else, and they would just pay me for some reason the same wage for not doing anything else, that's probably something I would want to do, is to get really good technically at guitar. Because I think, like most things, practice makes progress. And I think that if you sat down and actually worked through and played and practiced, you would just get faster and faster. I know what it's like with everything. You do get faster with mixing and with recording and with everything. The more you do it, the better you get, the faster you get. It would be the same with guitar. And I would really love to be able to shred like Morello, but not currently a thing. I wish I wasn't so horrendous at drums. I'm utterly hopeless. Here. That's why Jade Star comes to the party when I need drums, unless they're super duper simple. Future Phoenix says, I would love to master all instruments and a fountain of never-ending inspiration to drive it. There you go. Just going with that, that small scale goal of just all knowledge in the world on all instruments all the time. I like it. I wish I understood synth better. I couldn't figure out what all those settings do. And the LFO envelopes, yeah, I hear you, Mark. There are some good videos that are all about synth, but maybe I need to do a idiot's guide to synths, because I have a very basic working knowledge of how things work. But because I never came from the analog, I'm not an analog guy at all. Like, as soon as I didn't have to use analog stuff anymore, I trashed it. I got rid of all my analog gear, and I don't use tape or anything like that. And it's kind of the same with synths. I never went into the analog. Like, I see people's synths rigs, and they're plugging chords in and out and twiddling dials and things, and it's just not for me. So I've never got into it for that reason. But hey, maybe it's something that because I must admit, what I was getting to is I watch a lot of synth videos, and people do start just talking topics. And I like to sort of try and explain topics. If I say something like LFO is a low frequency oscillator, it does X and Y. The reason I say X and Y is because I don't really remember what all these things do specifically. Like, I know what a filter does, obviously, and the envelope. Like, there's a lot of terms that are used that I have a basic understanding of, but I've never spent the time. I'm like you, I've never spent the time actually getting there and working it all out. Let's see. Watch Pete Thorne on YouTube. He's awesome. Nice. Have I tried Syntorial on iPad? I haven't. What is Syntorial? Is that a synth tutorial? I'm intrigued now. I'm going to search Syntorial. Syntorial, the ultimate synthesizer tutorial. Huh. There you go. Try for free. I've not heard of it. Anyone else heard of Syntorial? It looks pretty interesting. Here it is over on the ultimate synthesizer tutorial. Maybe this is something we could do. Syntorial 2.0, even better. So it looks like you can try it for free. Buy it. Well, how do you buy it? Tap the knob twice. Do I? Oh, I only tapped it once. Wow. Master synthesis and start bringing the sounds you hear to life. Okay. Only $231.99. At least it doesn't have a 7 in the price. That looks interesting. Thanks for the tip. I like it. Now at 60, I walk slower. Yeah, I must admit, I found that I'm walking a lot slower these days, Bear. I'm only 43. 4? 4. 4. Yeah, just a itty bitty teeny one. Seamus says, with DistroKid and all the additional add-ons which seem to be appearing, do you feel it's pretty costly? And are there additional add-ons such as AI mastering, paid playlists, swamping it? Yeah, look, full disclosure, upfront like I always do, DistroKid are a channel sponsor. They sponsor Your Music Live show every week. I use them. I have used them since well before they were a sponsor, and I thought, and still think that they are the best distributor out there. What has happened in the last sort of year is that there's a lot of these additional services that both DistroKid have added themselves, like their mixing and mastering and other things, and that other platforms have started having to monetize and make more money for. The one that comes to mind is the Spotify synced lyrics. That used to just be included, and now you've actually got to add that on because Spotify have started charging distributors for providing that synced lyrics service. So there are a lot more things, I must admit, when you go to DistroKid that are optional extras that you can add on. I still think with the Musician Plus plan, you get everything I think you need. Like if you're creating and recording, mixing and mastering your tracks up to the level that you're happy with them, I don't think you necessarily need to pay the extra for Mixer or for AI mastering or for the title mastering or any of the other optional extras that you have there. But I mean, your mileage may vary, and there are other distributors that are starting to compete on price. So there's United Masters, who's the one that's been around forever I used to use, Amuse, and obviously the incumbents like CD Baby and TuneCore are still out there. Again, for ease of use and for simplicity, I still find that if you just upload your song with DistroKid, if you're on the Musician Plus plan, it's kind of got everything you need. Are there nice to haves that you could add on there with the add-ons? Yeah, maybe. In fact, let's look at them because we've got a bit of time here today. We're doing the Q&A. Let's look at the additional extras that you do have here if we were to upload a new track. So we're going to come here, we're going to upload a new song. We're not really, but we'll come in here and we'll check out what they've got here. So if we scroll to the bottom, that's where all the action is with the optional extras. So the Discovery Pack, 99 cents a year, song recognition in millions of, so this one I don't necessarily recommend. We've found through some testing that you kind of get included in the Apple and in the Shazam. So that's why it's not called Shazam anymore. It's called the Discovery Pack because your song will probably get submitted to that anyway. The Store Maximizer, you can pay $8 a year for it if you want, but you know what you can also do? I'll show you in a sec. You can go back to your previous releases and then just check. So if you just go in there once every 6 months or a year like I do, just go in there, check, see what new stores there are, and then just dump them out to those new stores. YouTube Content ID, I've ranted on that for years. I don't like it. If you want it, cool. But I don't think it's a good idea to put YouTube Content ID. I don't think you're going to make $5 a year of revenue from that. If you don't know what Content ID is, that's where if someone else uses your song in their YouTube video and it happens to be monetized, then you will get a cut of or in some cases, all of the proceeds from that. But remember, it has to be a monetized channel that has advertising on it, and then you get that part of the advertising. If someone uses it and they generate monetized, guess what? Again, 100% of zero is still zero. Leave a legacy. I've talked about that before. If you want to go down that track, if you want to make sure your stuff's out there forever. The reason I don't go with that is where was streaming 10 years ago? Where will it be in 10 years' time? I think anything in the digital space where you go with, let's make this forever. We've seen through Twitter and other things in more recent times that forever is not a very long time. Talk to Friendster about forever. Talk to MySpace about forever. There'll be things that will come and go over time. Social phone number, distro music video distribution. So that's your $99 a year. Again, I know Jade's covered this one. Unless you are creating high quality, sort of Vivo ready videos, I don't think so. If you're just doing regular lyric videos, this isn't for you. This is for people producing high quality music videos. Social phone number, I don't get. I'm in Australia anyway. It doesn't make any sense to me. The high fidelity audio, so you got loudness normalization for $2.99 one-time fee, non-recurring. If you get your loudness right in your mastering process and you check it at loudnesspenalty.com, I don't think you need this at all. And the title Max MQA, again, I don't think you need that. I don't think many people are getting enough plays on Tidal to worry about having that additional Max MQA, Max quality logo on there. So yeah, it's a good point that you make, definitely, and it's something that people need to know about when they're using DistroKid. Like go in, but as I said before, if you look at what you actually get, so the Musician Plus plan, still really good value, $40 a year, 2 artists, you get your sync lyrics in Apple Music, you get all your stats, you get your label name, release date, pre-order date, custom pricing, and of course access to the app. So to me, it's still the best way to release your music. And again, full disclosure at the front and the end, DistroKid are a sponsor of this channel, so do keep that in mind and take it with a grain of salt. But I like to give as much detail as possible. It's not that thing where I'm like, yeah, here's a great. That's why the sponsors of this channel have been DistroKid, BandLab, IK Multimedia. I don't want to sit here and tell you to buy a HelloFresh meal kit, because even though I do like HelloFresh and have used it before, I don't think it's relevant. And I can't, hand on heart say that this is something that everyone in my community is going to benefit from. BandLab, DistroKid, IK Multimedia Gear, these sort of things are things that I'm pretty sure people are interested in. So that's why I very carefully select who I use for that. What's the best audio format to release your song? A high resolution WAV file. So yeah, high resolution WAV file just means a 24-bit WAV file at 44.1 or 48 kilohertz. So whenever you're exporting to release any song, make sure you're choosing non-compressed. So anything that says compressed, stay away from. If it says uncompressed, whether it's a WAV file, WAV file, or a AIF file, they're going to be cool. You don't want any compression. Even something that says full lossless, you might as well just go with the raw audio, because it's going to get compressed anyway. It's going to get compressed down when it goes onto Spotify or to YouTube Music or to Amazon or to Tidal or to Deezer or wherever you're releasing it, YouTube. So yeah, make sure that you're using the highest quality you can. Leslie says, are there any good apps for GarageBand or Logic Pro that can help with developing melodies? There's Scalar 2, but I can't get it to work. Desktops use Melody Source 2, but there's no iOS version. Scalar and Riffer and those sorts, I know I've seen Jade use. I'm not sure why they don't work. If you've tried it, it hasn't worked for you. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do this. I don't hate using just the autoplay in GarageBand and then tweaking that. BandLab has its song idea platform that you can just use to sort of throw together something that can give you an idea for something. But yeah, I haven't specific. It's a good question to go out to the community here, that if someone watching here live or someone watching on the replay, feel free to leave your feedback. If there's something you use for melody, I must admit, I'm going to sound a bit wanky, but I've never found the melody difficult. Like, the melody kind of makes itself. And if you want to know my technique for melody, even for the melody of something like a guitar or a piano or a synth or whatever, I just hum it or I just sing it. I do do-do-dos and da-da-das. So if I've got a chord progression playing in the background and I want to make a melody, you've probably heard me doing this on Your Music Live, singing along to people's songs. I'll just start trying to sing along to a melody. And sometimes that becomes vocals, or sometimes it becomes a solo, or sometimes it becomes a counter melody that I add to an instrument. So I wouldn't be too afraid to just sing your stuff in, hum it in, just do that, because it can work really well. I've had whole songs, and I know Jade did this actually on a Songtember 2 years ago. Jade which did Metheist's EP. The bass parts were her walking around just going bam, 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 like just actually singing it into your voice recorder and then coming back and playing it on the bass, or coming back and playing it on the keys. So you're gonna be golden there. There's a few ideas to try there. Hello to Bolvine Deherder. Bolvine Deherder. AI is going to nuke us. Hope not. But remember, AI is still controlled by people. It's called artificial intelligence, but it's still, I call it human driven automation, because that's really all it is these days. I don't tend to worry so much about it. Is Tidal dying? I'm not sure. MQA is being dropped due to license. Really, didn't know that. So there you go. Even better thing to go with. Hello. I'm sorry for my English, but I have a question. I'd like to use a 60s natural drum in my song, which is typical, feels something like the Beatles, but I can't find a similar sound using GarageBand iOS. Yeah, good question. A 60s kind of drum sound. There is the classic one that everyone always sees, the 60s drum feel. The problem with a lot of the drum kits in GarageBand, and I've had this question before, to get that all sort of old school 60s kind of style sound is hard, because a lot of the kits are created to kind of sound more epic. Like, they don't want, like, you kind of almost need a flat, deadened kind of drum sound to create a Beatles drum. Let's jump into GarageBand and have a little squiz. I didn't check that my audio and my video is all set up here properly, but maybe it is. Let's jump over to here. There we go. So I'll just pop your question down there for the time being, and come in here. So there is so if we just go add an audio track here, there is the classic 60s drum kit that everyone always sees and probably never uses, which you might be able to play around with. So if you come in here and we filter by all sound packs, make sure everything's on here. Cool. And we'll take the funk off, because we had just funk. There's this 60s shuffle drum set, which is probably not exactly what you're looking for. Let's just throw this into a track. I've still got issues with this, the mouse stuff here in GarageBand. It's still a bit dodgy. So what this is using is... so this is obviously not really going to help you, because this is just a drum loop, so it's a little bit harder to use. If you want to actually create your own drummer kind of sound here, let's try some of the kits here and see which ones are going to work for this. If we go to a drum, actually we'll go to the drummer, and we'll go to more drummers, and we'll go to the acoustic route. So the ones I have used that have kind of more of a dead kit in the past... The brush kit's not too bad. Oh, this one, Parker, this 1960s Songwriter is pretty good. So the default sort of sounds like this. So it's not too bad, but what you tend to find, if you want more of that, and I won't go into a heap of detail here, but a tip for finding more of that kind of Beatles sound or that old 60s vibe is you want a dead kit, but they were a little bit more treble heavy, so your kick and your snare normally sounded, and this is a good thing that in Logic Pro for iPad, you can actually EQ each individual piece using the drum kit designer and change the tone, so you can actually pitch up the snare and do cool things like that. But some really basic EQ in here could definitely help you. So if you came in here and you went to your visual EQ, turn that one on, you could actually just sort of give yourself a high shelf here and actually give it a little bit more. Maybe even in the mids there. So you can make it a little bit brighter to be able to bring it in there. Now you could of course use a kit as well here. So if you didn't want to use the drummer, you could come into your drums, go to the acoustic drums and just select one of the drum kits that's going to work. So something like the vintage, where's the vintage kit here? So yeah, it really does come down to trial and error, unfortunately. And GarageBand drumming has a lot of options in there, not the most amount of flexibility in terms of customization though. So there's a few ideas though that might get you started. If you knew all that already and it doesn't help, apologies, but might have had a few ideas for you there that can get you cracking and get you inspired. Yeah, look, it is hard because everyone's different and everyone will have different experience and want different things. So there's that. JStar, there's many melody apps that work in Logic, Scalar, Piano Motifs, Chem, Alkay's Bud apps, Euclidean, to name a few. There you go. There's some ideas there for you. JB says, I'm very happy with DistroKid. New release was on YouTube Music in about 6 hours. TikTok and Instagram took half a day. Spotify less than a day. Yeah. It's very, very easy to release with DistroKid. And there you go. Jade's covered those on their channel. All right. Riffer's the one. Riffer. Get out of Cold Acre, get out of the Mix Club. Thank you all for dropping on by. Any idea if the iOS GarageBand sampler will stop the higher pitch, faster note, lower pitch, slower note? No. This is a problem, and this is why if you do a lot of sampling, Logic Pro for iPad and the sampler in there is a lot better and is definitely worth checking out, because you can actually create more of a sampled instrument as opposed to your classic sampler, which will, if you don't know what we're talking about here, when you're in the sampler, so when you're sampling sounds, wrong button, when you're sampling sounds here in GarageBand, if we come out of that one, and we just add in a sampler track, if you're sampling sounds here in GarageBand, I don't have a thing plugged in here, but if we just go to our library and bring in a little sound. So because of the way that sound works and the way that sample rate works, unfortunately, if you have a longer sound, it'll actually get shorter as it gets higher, because it changes the speed of it as well. If you're using like a smaller sound, it's not as much of a big deal. But yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath for GarageBand to bring in sampling that's actually going to give you things like consistent pitch and length, because I just don't think it's high on their list of things to do. Search Kem Olke in the App Store for his Bud apps. There you go. Plenty of melody creation. Hello, Ronald from London. It would be a little bit late in London town. I hope you are doing well over there. Thanks for being here as well. Can you do tempo mapping in Graybunk? Oh, Rhett, you put me to the test with that one. Graybunk. Was that just the fingers all just went off to one side there or something? There you go. No. So there's no tempo mapping ability in GarageBand at all. That's why, again, for folks who are doing more of that sort of thing where you want to identify your tempos and tempo match and beat match and use samples and that sort of thing, Logic Pro is definitely a lot better for you. Here in GarageBand, you don't have the ability. The only option, and what I used to send folks over to before we had the ability to do this, is this app called Audio Stretch. Oh, that's Audio Master. We don't want Audio Master. We want Audio Stretch. Audio Stretch. So there's a light version and a full version here. And the way this works is, you can see down the bottom there, you can adjust speed and you can adjust pitch. When you import a file, you can adjust the speed up by percentage points, and you can adjust the pitch up by semitones. So yeah, no. And then you just basically have to export from GarageBand, do that, bring it back in. But really, if you're doing a lot of that sort of stuff, Logic Pro for I/O is the way to go. Are there any iOS plugins or instruments that can add vinyl pops and crackles to your music? There would be. There's a bit of a cheat for GarageBand users, because some of your Alchemy synth sounds actually have a built-in crackle. And I did a video ages ago that actually still works pretty well. If you search Pete Johns Vinyl, you'll be able to find this video here, which is this one, Vinyl Record Effect in GarageBand iOS. And essentially, you add this, it's called the dusty piano sound. It's about a 10-minute video. It shows you how to do it. So you add this dusty piano sound, but then you go into your Alchemy settings and you basically remove everything but that effect. So you hold it down in Alchemy, and it basically gives you that cracks and pops and that sort of sound in the background, and then you can control it and automate it and change the pitch of it if you want to, using your Alchemy synth. So there would be apps that do that. You could also, what a lot of people do is just get recording. So Freesound, I bet you, if we went to freesound.org, which is my go-to because it seems to have a decent range of sounds, and they actually label them as to whether they're free to use or not. Just need to log in. So I'll just hide that for a jiffy in case it brings up any usernames or passwords, which it is doing. And I'm going to log in. Boop, 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 and jump back over here. So if you just went record crackle, and we search for a sound that's got like a record crackle. Turning a record player, you've got record start crackle. So if we just, or vinyl record crackle loop. So there's a heap of them in here. What you want to do is if you want to use it in a project, come down here to not that one, the attribution. So if you're using it for a commercial release, you want to make sure you're at Creative Commons 0 so that you don't have to have any attributions, you don't have to pay for it, anything like that. So if you redo that, then we can come in here. So this one is completely Creative Commons. So if we give this a play, it's going to sound like this. Pretty good. Not bad. Vinyl Crackle 1, so there's a heap of different ones in here. That's pretty good. And then if you want one, if you want to download this looks like a pretty good one, 21 seconds. So you could loop this one pretty well. Just come in here, hit the download button, and then just pull it into your projects. So then you can download it. I've got a video on that one too about how to do that. Let's go back to the YouTubes. I'm pretty sure if I go freesound.org, there will be, I better put my name in there, Pete Johns. There you go, how to add free samples in GarageBand iOS from freesound.org. So that's my go-to, Alan. As you can hear, just in those couple of quick demos, there's some pretty good stuff there. Right, Rhett, yeah, having a bit of a, what do we call them, senior moment. Took 5 trials. Yeah, the Liverpool kit. That's a good point. There is actually a kit called the Liverpool kit and the Liverpool bass. That would have been a better one to suggest, Fat Panda Cat. See, it took a Fat Panda Cat to come in and help out, which you can use if you want to. Is that, yeah, that's on GarageBand, I think. Artifacts. There you go. So there is, see, I knew there'd be an app for that. Look, I said it right up front. I'm like, when we do these AMAs, I'm handballing. I'm sending questions around the place. Thank you. Yeah. Try sampling something. It could be a bit of fun. A little bit of playing around with sampling is cool. Yes, the old Gorillas t-shirt, one of my favorites to wear. I'm wearing it because I didn't have time to shower before the show. Oh no, good thing it's not smell-o-vision, right? Let's see. Tom Machine by 4 Pockets is cool for clicks, pops, vinyl crackle. There you go. Another one. Is it Tom Machine or Time Machine? Time Machine? Everyone's got the typing things on. Jamie says, yes, Time Machine is nice. Samples to use too. There you go. Got options. Yeah, got options. Bud apps are great. I'd forgotten how good they are. Cool. Coolly cool. Bunker. Reaper. Yeah, Reaper's a good option for PC. I do miss Reaper. You can do everything. I use Sample Wiz too as a plugin to do a lot of this work. There you go. Another option. We'll get Koala. Yeah, Koala Sampler is very cool. A lot of fun to play around with. My kids like playing with Koala, making little songs and sounds with Koala. I hate spell check. Did you know that in iOS 17, the autocorrect is getting better? So if you're sick of every time you type a particular word, it says ducking, you can basically train it to say, I never will be talking about a duck. You can already do that in the text replacement, but this is apparently going to use machine learning and AI to actually improve your autocorrect. So you won't have quite as many issues. Except that then you'll be on your iPhone using the YouTube mobile app, which you can't actually tag people in and has terrible chat. So there you go. G'day, Phantom Agents. Hope you're doing well. Wow, see, it's the All-Stars here today. Everyone hanging out on a Friday night or a Saturday morning. I hope you're all doing exceptionally well. Yes, first rule of spell checking, it's never duck you. True that. Scrolling down to the bottom here, and I think we'll get, we're nearly caught up on that. Mark says, I seem to remember an app called Vinyl or something. Yeah, there's probably a vinyl-related app. Whole number tempos is another problem. Yes, it is. So the other problem that you have with GarageBand, not that one, but this one, is that your tempo selection, and thankfully, Logic Pro's changed this, but your tempo selection can only be in whole numbers. And unfortunately, sometimes something's just at 110.2, and there's no way to line it up. So you bring in a loop, and you can't use it. Whereas not only in Logic Pro can you set it to a decimal point, but you can just analyze the loop when you bring it in, and it will actually tell you what it is. Deodorant is overrated. Well, yeah, it is. I'm the only one that has to smell me for now. Neo Soul is a nice warm 70 sounding kit. Yeah, the funk kind of sounding kits are pretty good as well. So that's actually, let's go and check those, because we had the question about the Beatles kind of old retro sounding kit as well. So your vintage kit. But if we change that one up, you have things like the Neo Soul, which is like an R&B kit. Yeah, that's nice, because that's very subdued, very muted kind of sound. So that one might be worth having a look at. And of course, the Liverpool kit, which again sounds a little bit, again, too sort of flat. So I'd again come in here and maybe give it a little bit of a treble boost like that. A little bit of a mid boost and a treble shelf to, maybe not that much, but just for effect to show that one. How are we going with the ads, folks? Has anyone had an ad in the middle, and what was it for? Let me know, because I'm intrigued. We're going to do some ad checking in just a minute as well. Spurs have got a new manager. Spurs. Tottenham Hotspurs or San Antonio? Since it's manager, probably Tottenham. I don't know. I don't follow the Premier League much these days. But yeah, Saturday morning here in Radelaide, it is... Oh, that's right. Seamus is a Radelaide lad as well. Good stuff. As summer is coming in the Southern Hemisphere, remember that 2 shots of deodorant aren't worth a shower. Yeah, we have hot summers here, but thankfully we have dry summers. Whenever I go up north, whenever I go up Queensland way or even to Sydney, yeah, the humidity that they have over summer is just draining. It's not quite tropical, but it's very subtropical. So, you know that when you walk outside, like you'll be inside and you have a shower and you're in the air conditioning, and then you walk outside and you just start dripping with sweat, and you're like, well, guess that shower was kind of pointless, because now I feel disgusting again. Yeah, good times, good times. Let's, what are we going to do? Yeah, so let's do that, because I did put behind the scenes as a quick thing, and I do have something here to test. You've probably seen this dangly bit down here. This is because I've thrown my second camera up here, and I'm doing a little experimentation here with using my iPhone, because I do have the iPhone 14 Pro now, and it does have very nice lenses on it. So I'm just sort of doing some testing for when I'm doing live streaming away from the studio. And obviously it's going to be a bit different because it's going to be pointing into the studio lights here. But why don't we just add this to our stream? Camera 2, can you read me? It can. We'll just remove that one. So we've got these two. So yeah, that's not too bad. So this is my setup. So I said we'd jump in and we'd go behind the scenes. So this is the opposite. So you see me here. I'm in my bedroom studio. You just sort of see my wife's desk corner there, and you see like the shelf over here with my CDs and stuff on it. But you often don't see what I'm actually looking at. So I'll take you through this, but you can see, you got the important stuff like the coffee cup here. Always have a capo hanging around. I've got my little desktop thingy for my phone so that I can use that when I need to just shoot something really quick and simple and easy. But yeah, this is my layout here. I have 2 softbox lights that sit there and there. One's in shot and one's out of shot. So one's up over here that you can't see, but you can see the light that it's creating there. And I have another one over there. There's the light switch. So there's the famous, if you want to support the channel, you help keep the lights on. And when I turn it off, you can see the lag between the cameras. So that is the lighting setup. A very, very basic setup. I've kept everything very simple in my setup. You might not think so, but comparatively, it's pretty simple. I use StreamYard for all of my streaming, which is the platform that you're talking to me through. It means that I can throw comments up like this. It means I can put banners here to tell you that if you've got a question, just put a Q in front of it. So, and I can use it in any browser. So it means that I can use it on a browser on my phone, which is why that camera's working up there on the phone, and I can use it here on my Mac. I used it in the PC in the past. It doesn't have the same level of flexibility as using standalone software like Streamlabs or OBS or things like that, but I'm a simple man. with simple needs and simple pleasures. And I go with StreamYard for that reason. I pay for the StreamYard HD kind of premium plan, which is about $50 a month. And it means I can stream like I'm doing right now to Twitch, to YouTube, to Facebook, all at the same time, to Twitter back in the day, all at the same time, and have complete control over it. The other advantage of using this over a standalone setup is I've got some pretty dodgy internet from time to time. And the good thing about this setup is that if my computer just shut down right now, I would be able to bring it back up and jump back into this stream. You would just go to a blank screen for a while, but the stream would stay up. And that really helps out because sometimes if there's a little intermittent outage, it's usually only 10 seconds, 30 seconds. It'll bring it on back. So if I'm doing longer form shows, it will actually bring those back, which is a handy thing to have with StreamYard. There's other things like Restream and other things that you can actually use. It's I like StreamYard and have been using it for a long time. Hello, Luke Roberts and Pierino. I've tagged your comments. We'll jump back to them. Hello, D. Sharon. We'll jump back to those in a moment. So this is the main setup here. I have this monitor here is one that I've repurposed. I've actually stolen from my wife over there because this is a 32-inch LG. It's actually a little bit too big. I used to have the 28-inch Apple Studio monitor, and now I've had to position my camera over the top. So I do need to get a new monitor, or I may just go back to my other one because this over here is a 24-inch Asus monitor. And this is, a lot of people ask me, why don't you live stream using your phone? If the camera on your phone or your camera on your iPad is so much better, and it is, why are you streaming from your Mac or your PC? And it comes down to the screens. Even though you do have external display support for your iPad now, which I'll talk about in a moment. So that's what this little dongle's doing here. That's sending the iPad out. Even though you have that, it's just too difficult because for me, if I want to be able to show things, so we'll just take camera 2 off there for a moment. Because I've got that screen that you just saw before connected there, if I want to show you things over here, I can actually just quickly access that. So whenever you're watching Your Music Live or another show, and you see me kind of looking off here to the side, it's because I've actually got stuff up there, and that's what I'm showing, and that's the screen I'm using to display. So I haven't found a way to live stream using a mobile rig that gives me that level of flexibility. I do, of course, also want to be able to. We'll just we'll bring back camera 2. And we'll take that one away. I'm not usually using this many different things. There we go. Whoop. Oh, that's actually not a bad view. No, that's not so good. I've got to add and remove all these things from the stream now because normally I've only got my head and I've got the other. So I'm just going to remove and add that one back in and take that one out. There we go. So I've also got the ability to display my iPad, and to do that, thankfully, iPads changed from Lightning to USB-C. The problem we had before is that even though the Lightning output had an HDMI output as well, you couldn't do HDMI and use USB audio at the same time. And you'll probably notice that over here, if I move my coffee mug, I've got my Steinberg UR22C. So this iPad is connected to the Steinberg. There's also, back here, a little powered USB hub, just the old school 10 DAC, the one I've been talking about for decades. So that powers this up. If I want to plug in a MIDI keyboard or a USB microphone or something else, that can all plug into there, just a nice little 4-port hub. And at the front of that one, the reason I like the 10 DAC is it's got a charging port. In fact, you know what I should do? You don't need to see me here. Let's solo layout this. There you go. So you can see there's the 10 DAC powered hub. You can't really see, but it's behind there. So that's going to power everything up. And it has a charging port which goes into the Magic Keyboard here. That keeps this whole setup charged. And then over here, this is USB and your HDMI, so that I can connect this up to my Steinberg audio interface. So that means when I'm doing demos and things here in GarageBand, I can plug in a microphone, I can plug in a guitar, and I can set this all and then be recording. The output of this also goes into these 2 channels here. So I've got a stereo, you can see at the top there, I've got stereo. That's a TRS cable, that goes from the back of that into this. So these 2 channels, if I turn on the iPad here, if I turn that down, you can see that they're coming through, but there's nothing there. I can bring that up into the mix. This channel is my PC audio, And you can see that channel 1 here is my microphone. Well, you can't see it actually because it's just out of shot. So channel 1, there's the microphone that's controlling that. That's the iPad audio and PC audio. So it just gives me the flexibility that if I want to play something over here and I want you to be able to hear the audio, I can just turn up there. That's what I do when we're doing Your Music Live. Giving it the finger. Don't usually use my middle finger. And then if I'm playing something from my iPad, so I'm doing a demo or a tutorial on the iPad, I can bring those up there. And it works a treat for that. So we'll just stop that there. So that's the main setup I have here for that. The mixer is kind of the guts of the operation, and I like the Zoom. I've been using it for ages. The Zoom Live Track. There are better things these days. I've had this for about 4 years. There's better things these days, but I know this. I know it like the back of my hand, the old proverb. So I use this to do all of everything that I do. So the beauty part is I can plug, you can see my guitar's plugged into here to channel 2. So when I'm doing my happy hour show, I can just throw that up and plug the guitar in and use those 2 channels. Use these 2 channels, as I said before, for my iPad, and then this one for the US, for the PC audio or Mac audio. There's effects on board here, so I can just throw a little bit of reverb on there for when I want to. But it's a very basic setup. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, so like with pads and with triggers and with sounds and things, but I don't tend to do that sort of stuff. Maybe in the future I'll upgrade and do something a bit different, but for me, I just wanted this. The other good thing here is that my headphone output here, that the mixer has the ability to set your headphone output different to your main output. And the reason that's important is that if I'm interviewing someone, so if I'm doing a live show, like I've got one coming up on the 1st of September with Lidge Shaw, when I'm talking to Lidge, I need to make sure that, or when Jade and Tom and other people are on the show, or whoever I've got as a guest, I need to make sure I've got a mix minus going through my mixer. So I need to make sure that I can hear myself and I can hear them in my headphones through the headphone mix, but the main mix of that isn't all going out to you. Otherwise, you get that reverberating, echoing loop that nobody likes. So that is another cool thing that we can do with this here. All the way over to here, just out of shot, you can see my Mac Mini. And this has also a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 plugged in. There is a powered USB hub behind there because that's got plugged into it the mixer, my webcam, and other things I'm forgetting about right now. That audio interface as well. So I've got the reason I have a second audio interface is if I'm doing, say, a GarageBand Mac tutorial, or I want something else to be able to plug into the Mac, if I come in through here while I'm using this device as a live streaming device, it has issues. So it has puppies and it doesn't like it. So we need to have a separate device so that I can set GarageBand to say output through here, so that can come out through here so you can hear that in the live stream, but make the input through there so that can actually come in through here. So that's why I have a separate one. I've got a couple of SSD drives up there because this thing only has 256 gig of memory, so I'm constantly shifting and shuffling. If you're buying a new Mac, please, for the love of your deity of choice, get yourself more than 256 gig. The latest additions to the studio, I was told to try this Magic Trackpad. I did, and I kind of like it. I'm getting used to it. I need to push it forward. I need to get to the habit of having it there so I can rest my wrist. So I must admit my fingers aren't cramping up as much when I'm doing long work using the trackpad there. Obviously I got the Magic Keyboard here for the iPad, and I even bought myself one of these, which are the full size, including the character keys over here, the numpad, because I want that. And I like this because I can log in. I won't press it, but I can log in and out of my Mac by just pressing a button there, which saves me those precious seconds of turning on and then plugging in my password. So yeah, so that is it. A couple of speakers here. These are the PreSonus Iris 3.5s. I don't have a big room. I don't need monitor speakers for a whole lot of stuff. And I know the first thing people say is that they're in the wrong position, they're not high enough, they're etc. etc. Yeah, that's true. But I kind of use them just for referencing more than anything else here for what I do. For the level of stuff that I do here. So that is what you don't see. And I thought I would do this because I'd had some questions recently where folks have said, how do you do your live streaming? How do you have it set up? The key things out of all of that, if you don't listen to all that or you just want to get started, is a decent webcam. So I use the Logitech Brio webcam, by the way. You can go to the gear guide if you want to find out all the stuff that I use, studiolivetoday.com/gear. but I use the Logitech Brio. The Logitech 920 or 922s are good. Basically, any webcam, as long as it's at least a 1080p or a 4K webcam, just so that you get the best quality of video. I think that I used to not think it was the case, but I think that lighting is almost the second most important thing. So once you have a camera to be able to see yourself, you could pretty much use any audio device, but if you look grainy and horrible, go back to 2018 and 2019. Look at my videos, see how grainy and horrible I looked. I didn't think lighting was important until I had it. And now I have lighting and it looks better. Still not great. I don't have the best lighting in the world. They're literally a couple of soft boxes from AliExpress that cost me like $50 with a couple of Philips Hue globes in them. So it's not the best lighting in the world, but it's a heck of a lot better than no lighting. And then it comes down to the audio device you use. And again, I tried live streaming using an audio interface or without a mixer. It was just no bueno. I couldn't do it because, for instance, if I'm playing something, let's just do a quick demo of this here. Can we bring in this one here? Will this have everything? No, we've got rid of that. But if you know what the setup looks like. But say that I'm doing a Your Music Live and I want to play a song here. Who's someone I can play? I know Thomas, our wonderful moderator, won't mind me playing one of his tracks. So if we go to Thomas Christ, and we're like, here's a great song from Thomas Christ. Now, I know that Tom knows how to mix his songs. So he's going to have his mix, and I know I can trust in Thomas, if we just make sure that the volume is 100% there, that here on the mixer, can I add this back in? Yeah, here on the mixer, I'm just going to throw this up to its unity, so the middle level here, and the volume should be almost spot on. Wrong mixer. Now tell me, don't you feel it? Don't you? Perfect. Now, because I do a show where I play a lot of other people's music as well, they won't always have things quite as well mixed, perhaps, or maybe they've overcooked it. So the reason that I say a mixer is almost essential is that I think that I need the ability to be able to turn that up and down, because if someone has mixed theirs too low, I've got the headroom to be able to push it a little higher up there on the mixer. And if someone's really overdone it and overcooked it, I can watch my meters here and I can bring it down. And even though you can do this sort of stuff in software, or you can, twiddle your knobs on your audio interface or whatever, it's so much easier to do this, to just be able to ride a fader between, especially if I'm playing 40 songs on a show in a week. I don't want to be constantly having to twiddle with like a virtual mixer on the screen for the Mac, or using YouTube's volume controls, which are dodgy as. So the alternative would be I'd have to come in here to the track and go, right, I know this one's a bit loud, so I better turn it down, and then put my overall volume up, and then, but this one has to come up. Like that. That would completely remove from the show and make things not fun to do. So yeah, mixer for the win, as Thomas says. Yeah, mixer is absolutely essential for doing feature music shows, as you know. I like my color light. See, that's the other thing. I'm the anti-RGB guy. I give Mike over at Creative Source shit because he likes having his purple RGB lights, and he can change the color and change the mood and change the hue. I'm a bit basic. I'm a basic bee, as people would say. So yeah, that's my gear. And as Thomas says, if you wanted to find out all the stuff that I use, then it's all over there at the Gear Guide, studiolivetoday.com/gear. I don't know if it's polite to put a link up here, or I would. Unfortunately, it's not possible. Only our moderators have the power to put links up there. Unfortunately, because not that I don't trust the vast majority of people, but if you've been on a live stream where they add links, where they have the ability to add links to the chat, it just becomes a spam fest, and there's just no way to kind of manage it perfectly, which is unfortunate, but it just is the way it goes. I have the same webcam. My problem, I don't see good enough to get a good color setup. I like my colors. The other thing that I will recommend, if you're using a Mac, what's it called? Webcam settings? Yeah, it's called webcam settings. When I first started using the Mac, I was really frustrated because I was trying to use the Logitech software and it was just not working properly. And I spoke to Patrick, actually, over at the GarageBand Guide, and I'm like, how the heck do you get decent webcam control in Mac? And he's like, you got to buy webcam settings. And I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. It's $20. Everyone uses it, and it just gives you complete control over your webcam. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And because he's Patrick, he was right. He was spot on, because I'll just show you this real quick. This is webcam settings. So you can control everything. You can control your exposure time, your gain, your brightness, your contrast, saturation, sharpness, and white balance. And you've even got advanced controls here for your focus. So I've got autofocus on at the moment, which is what's hopefully keeping me into focus there. You've got your zoom, you got your pan, you got your tilt there as well. So for me, if I need to zoom in on myself and scare everybody, I can do that. Or I can zoom probably all the way out, which is, wow, look how wide that is. Yeah, so you've got complete control over your webcam settings, but you need to download yourself the app webcam settings. Is that set there? Yeah, this is the problem that I'm having, because the screen I have here is so large, as you saw in the setup before. If I'm too zoomed out, look at that. It catches the corner of the video, of the monitor. See, that there is the corner of the monitor that's being seen over there. I'll show you. So see how the webcam up there, you can't really see, it's just out of shot, but it's just over there. It's capturing the back of the monitor, which is here. So I have to make sure that I'm always zoomed. Oh, wrong way. I'm always zoomed in. I just put my hand up there to make sure that it goes away into the corner. So I have to be more zoomed in these days than I'd really like to be. But you know what? First world problems, folks. First world problems. The new Mackie. Yeah, there's lots of good new... so Behringer do make some stuff. I don't use Behringer stuff much, but Behringer make a streaming mix. So there's the Rode Procaster series. Mackie make a streaming mix now, as Mix Club's saying. There's a lot of people getting into this game because there's more and more people doing what I do for a gig. So I do that. Jamie says, I'm using 2 old iPhones and 2 old Androids for webcams. It's okay as long as I remember to charge them. Yeah, that's the thing. $12.99 Australian. Is that webcam settings, or is that something else? Let me know. Yeah, and yeah, I'm playing around with the phone as a camera. The other thing is, I've actually just recently, and I haven't played around with this since I got the newer phone, but I did get this, which is the Belkin little clippy dealy. So you can actually clip this to the top of the monitor and then use that. That is webcam settings. Cool. $12.99. So it's not even $20. It's worth it. Well and truly. But what this lets you do is just slap your phone. It's got like a little magnetic thing there. So you slap your phone there, you chuck that on your thing, and then it uses the very high quality back camera of your phone as your webcam. So, and that connects wirelessly. Pretty good, doesn't seem to have too much lag, and works as like the continuity camera that you can use now on should we try it? I wonder if it's going to work. If I put it there and turn it on, is it going to actually work if I put it up here? Give me that option? I don't think so. Probably not. But this is experimental day. No, I can't even clip it, because you got to kind of like clip it to the back there and drop it down. I do not want to send my phone plummeting down the back of the computer. So we are going to, I wanted to keep this one hopefully to sort of around the hour to hour and a half mark. So we got ourselves about 13 more minutes to have a little play around here. If you do have any final questions, please go ahead and pop them here in the chat. Just put a big Q or question in front of them, and I'd be happy to answer them. Don't forget to go to the Songtember page and get yourself ready for Songtember, because it's just around the corner. It's happening soon. Wanted to show you a couple of things to finish up here today. Just going to move some things around because I've kajiggered that over there. I'm experimenting with using BandLab. You would have seen on a recent show, if you watched that one, that I put my song Anxiety, I put the stems for my song Anxiety up. Oh, BandLab's given me some ads here. Share your track or album. Do a bunch of stuff. All right. But I've been putting some things up here. So I put Anxiety, but I actually put 1%. Someone asked to do a remix of 1%. So I put my song 1% up here on BandLab. You can come over here. You can grab this. You can fork this if you want to. And you can use any of the things from in here to create your own remix. So I'm finding that this is a cool benefit of BandLab, and why I'll be using BandLab a bit for Songtember, because we'll just have a drink while we wait for this to load. Because as you can see, even when you're recording your audio somewhere else, like I've done in this case, you can actually then just input it into BandLab. and then use this as the place to mix and master and do all the things that you want to do, and to be able to quickly and easily share. So I'm liking the idea. If we just give this a little quick play. So there's all my tracks. The one thing I don't really like about BandLab is that when you're sharing something like this, when you go out to the main page, people can just play it as a song. And I'm like, that's not really the point of this. No, don't say that. Not really the point of this. I kind of just want to share this without having to, people play it. It gives them the unmixed version with the raw stems there, which is not as intended. Why did that not exit? Exit, don't save. There we go. So yeah, if you just play it from out here, you don't know what you're playing. So don't love it for that. But it's a cool option there, and we already had the drag gurus do that very cool remix of Anxiety, which was a lot of fun. Can I recommend a good resource for Cubasis? Our very own Jamie Mallender does a lot of Cubasis stuff. Do you still? I know you've done a little Logic Pro and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that Jamie's still doing a bunch of Cubasis. Mallender, do I spell it right? Probably not. Cubasis. How to record from AUM to Cubasis. Yep. Do you have a playlist of all your Cubasis stuff, Jamie? Let's check. Let's search by playlist. He does. Look at that. Beautiful playlist. Oh, look. There you go. Golden. I'll throw this in the chat for you. But yeah, search Jamie Mallender Cubase. Look, 42 videos. Plenty of resources for your Cubasising needs from our mate Jamie. Still do the Cubasis 3, good stuff. Well, we need people that are still doing Cubasis 3 for sure, because I like it. If Logic Pro didn't come, I probably would have started using more Cubasis. Yep, we got you. We got you. Yeah, go check out Jamie's stuff. He's a good bloke. He's a good musician and good creator, and even better bloke, which is what you want to hear. Even covers Android stuff there too, because as Jamie mentioned before, he uses a little Android. So yeah, do let me know if you don't have YouTube Premium and you've been getting ads. Let me know what you've been getting, because the last thing that we're going to do here is do a quick ad check. So what I'm going to do, the way we can do this is I'm going to close down all of my tabs, and I'm going to open a brand new one. But I'm going to open it as a... Gotta remember how to do this. A private window. Ooh, so I'm using Firefox these days as opposed to Chrome that I used to use. I just find it more reliable for... why is this not working? My screen is not showing. Oh, yeah, there it is. That one. I'm finding it more reliable for the audio side on Mac. I was getting some clicks and pops in Chrome, and I isolated it down to being a Chrome issue. So I'm on Firefox until further notice, till Chrome fix their stuff. But what you can actually do here is if you're searching here, we could go into youtube.com, and because we're here in private, see how at the top there we're not signed in? What we can now, look at what it gives you when you're not signed in. Mr. Beast, Minecraft, all the stuff. So we can actually do this. And there you go. Including family plan, ad-free YouTube, up to 6 household members. That's what I was talking about before, which is worth investigating. But if we just go Pete Johns, I'll just go GarageBand, hey? So you're looking for a tutorial. What's a classic kind of GarageBand tutorial that it's sort of quick, that will definitely show us some ads? What about this custom drum hack, how to easily add custom drums? So you won't always get an ad, just like in real life. And usually when I do these live tests, it doesn't give me an ad, but let's give it a crack.
Hey babe, can you go down to Fantastic Furniture and get something nice?
So I won't play that in case they've done something weird, like put something on there that's copyright content control for that. So that is a 15-second unskippable ad that we've got there, and then boom, we're straight into it. If we just sort of jump through here, it's a less than 10-minute video, so it shouldn't play any ads throughout. We'll see if at the end, if it goes on, it gives us another ad.
And your drummer follow tracks, and I'll see you next time.
See ya. So we'll just let it go and play this next one, mastering in GarageBand video, and see what we get. Mastering is the process of taking your
So
mix
no.
and adding some
It's
final
see, this is
tweaks
that
to
grainy
it.
video I was talking about. This is me before lighting.
Make sure the volume is at a competitive level.
And when I used to talk much too quickly
that it can now
and with a really high
optimize
register.
that.
Let's go to the end.
2 more videos linked down below. You can also subscribe to the
Look at
channel.
that.
By
Why am
clicking
I
on
leaning
that
forward
in
so
the
much?
top right corner there, and I'll see you on the next video.
Let's see. We'll see if we get one from here. We'll just hit the play now button. Add.
It is time to export our final.
No. All right. So yeah, it doesn't give you too many ads. And again, the reason the ads are actually going to be different with this, because you would have noticed there that I got a fantastic furniture ad, which is an Australian thing. So because I'm not logged in, it doesn't know who I am. It doesn't know my demographics. It doesn't know my age. It doesn't know my gender. It doesn't know anything about me. So it's giving me a very generic ad there. But it will give you an ad for your country. So it uses 2 things. It uses your IP address and your location. So that's why you'll notice if you ever use a VPN, you get ads for the location of the VPN, because it thinks based on your IP address that you're there. So that's sort of tip number 1. If you want to change your ads, change your location by using a VPN. And then if you're logged in, it uses your own stuff. So the reason you won't get the same ads as anyone else is it's actually profiling you, and it's trying to present ads that you are going to like, and not necessarily for others. Let's go to Jamie Malander, shall we? Let's watch one of those Cubasis videos and see what our mate Jamie has for an ad here. So what about if we wanted to record audio from AUM?
Open your AUM project and then
No
skip
ads.
over-
Jamie, I'm sorry. I wanted an ad I could click on, mate, to help you. I will play the next one. This is a Jakob
Hello,
hack.
dear viewer, and welcome to
No ad. It's really failing here. More ads, more ads, more ads. Play the next one. No, we're not getting enough in the way of ads. What if we close out and open another private tab? We'll see if we get different ads. In fact, I might have. I'll see if I can sign in just to show you. I think I've got an account that's not part of my premium. So why don't we try? Open a new private window, and we'll see. Actually, I don't need a private window if I'm doing that, do I? I'll see if I can log in using a YouTube account that doesn't have. If I switch my account to a different one, it might work or it might not. Let's see. No, it's not giving me any more ads. Unfortunate. Isn't it weird when you want ads? But yeah, you can see how that kind of works, is that it'll throw that up there and it will give you that. Yeah, the old treadmill era. Always get ads on your reminders. On my reminders. Oh, that's odd. But not during live streams. That's cool. Nice. That is going to do it for us. We're coming to the end here of the show, but we do have a whole bunch of other things. Oh, we got a final question that snuck in. I have a question. Does Spotify update your lyrics if you change them, including the synced ones too? Spotify, not anymore. So there's a separate upgrade you have to do for synced lyrics for Spotify now for all your songs. They've decided to charge extra for that. So it will update your lyrics, but you have to pay the extra to get the synced lyrics. I think if you've added synced lyrics in the past, they're still synced, but I could be wrong on that one. But yeah, if you go to my DistroKid page, studiolivetoday.com/DistroKid, there's all the FAQs there if you've got more questions or need more information on that one. All right, I think we are up to date. Yeah, look, we've connected folks. We've connected people to Jamie, so they can go over there and check out his great content. And yeah, do support all the folks that support us around here. So I'm a true believer in the high tide raising all ships. So please go ahead and do watch a lot of other people's content, because my views and my opinions and my information, it'll hopefully help out most people. That's my aim, but it's not going to be for everyone. Every time I get a hater telling me that I don't like your content, you talk funny, you've got a lisp, you've got a weird looking eye, I'm like, then go watch someone else. I don't know what to tell you, man. I do what I think is going to be best for the community that we have here, and I try to make it as accessible as possible and not make it just for particular types of people. But It doesn't mean, if you try to please everyone, you're going to end up pleasing no one. So I say all that to say, get out there, support Thomas Christ, support Jade Star, support Jamie Mallender, support all the creators, and it will help them and it will help you. You'll learn lots of extra stuff. Did pay the extra charge and I added the sync lyrics, but made a mistake. Yeah, I think it might just take a little bit of time to do that. I would say. Hopefully you can get that fixed up. But yeah, get in there and change it as quickly as possible. And if you've already paid for the sync lyrics, it should resync them with the correct one. But unfortunately, yeah, you're at the mercy of how quickly Spotify want to go and update them. Tell them to come to my spelling show. Yeah, the Mix Club is doing a special spelling and typing live stream. Not really, but yes, go on, bunk. All right. Yeah, please join me tomorrow for the happy hour. I'm doing Ben Folds tunes. I love Ben Folds, and he's got a new album out, which is stunning, and he's got a whole bunch of great back catalogue of great songs. So we'll be playing a bunch of Ben Folds tunes tomorrow. Then don't forget, of course, we have Your Music Live, which is hitting the airways live Monday morning here in Australia, Sunday afternoon for our friends in the US, and Sunday evening if you're in the UK or Europe, and that is where we play your best independent music. As we say at the end of each and every show around here, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others, keep creating, and we'll see you next time here on Studio Live Today.